My friends, we've got enemies advancing on us from outside of our border, and we've got enemies working against us inside our border. Item from the Free Beacon. The Minnesota Democratic Party has suspended a spokesman for calling for violence against Republicans, even as two GOP candidates have been assaulted in suspected politically motivated attacks. The Democratic Farmer Labor Party has suspended communications staff for William Davis for 1 week without pay after making a Facebook post joking Democrats would, quote, bring Republicans to the guillotine on November 7th, the day after the midterm elections. Minnesota Republican Party Chairman Jennifer Carnahan said the suspension was not enough, calling for his immediate firing in the aftermath of separate attacks against Republican candidates. She said she'd been subjected to numerous death threats during her tenure as the state party leader, and that death threats are no laughing matter. Well, my friends, you know, I tend to agree. What we're seeing is the breakdown of law and order. We've got 4,000 people marching toward us from Honduras via Guatemala and Mexico. Neither Guatemala nor Mexico seems to want to stop them. I wonder if anyone here wants to stop them. And then we've got Democrats, liberals in this country, who feel they are so righteous and so right and so pure that they have a right to commit acts of violence against people they don't like and don't agree with. So we can do two things. We can accept this as the new normal, or we can stop it. Now, we're not going to stop it with talk show hosts on the radio or editorials in newspapers. To stop something that's coming at you with force requires force. Are we willing to use that force? Or are we afraid of what the New York Times and CNN will say about us? Well, I don't read the New York Times and I don't watch CNN, so I could care less what they write or say. What I do care about is the security of this nation and its citizens. Donald Trump has done a fantastic thing in telling the countries that this caravan is moving through that we're going to withdraw tens of millions of dollars in aid if they let them continue. I think they won't. But if they do, we need to stop them at the border. And if they won't stop, we need to bloody them at the border. As far as Democrats in this country, well, we may need to bloody some Democrats too in self-defense. In self-defense. But push is coming to shove, and force has to be met with force. No other way around it. I am Howard Riell. This is my show. It's called Riell Truth. Stick with me for the next hour.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, serving Longmont in the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialize in guns and currently have over 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge when you're doing a loan. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. If you love guns, if you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952. Grandpa's Victory Trading Group is a different kind of gold and silver company, cleaning up the industry for 21 years. Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics, the constant phone calls? Are you done with the bait and switch? You just want to be treated fairly with honesty and respect? That's exactly what you get when you call 800-951-0592. You got my word on it. I'm Joe Jacobs, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Check us out online at allamericangold.com.
My friends, welcome back to Riell Truth. You know, the new chairwoman for the Elect Republicans campaign, her name's Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't know she's helping get Republicans elected, but she's such an imbecile that she's helping get Republicans elected in 3 weeks, for which we are very grateful. Here's Newt Gingrich.
Let's go to our headliner. Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and Fox News contributor. Speaker, thank you for coming on this morning. What do you make of the president's handling of this situation with Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think it's a difficult situation because the Iranians, for example, would love for us to separate ourselves from Saudi Arabia. But the Israelis and others all realize that this is a very, very important ally of ours. I think step one is exactly what Secretary Pompeo is doing. We've got to get to the bottom of this. And frankly, if it does turn out to be somebody very close to the Crown Prince, I think the Crown Prince is going to be in very substantial trouble. That doesn't mean that we're going to break relations with Saudi Arabia, but it does mean we're going to find ways to take steps to communicate very intensely that we just don't accept this. We don't accept it when the Russians poison people in Britain, and we would not accept it if the Saudis have killed a journalist in Turkey. So I do think step one is to get the facts. I think they're working at it, and I think that Secretary Pompeo got a pretty strong pledge. We'll see if the Saudis follow through.
And we'll see what Pompeo says when he comes back. Let's talk about midterms right now, 20 days away. I mean, what is your sense right now when there's a piece out there about Republicans getting pretty taken on the money side? There's some other stories that counter and say that the RNC is doing just fine. I mean, where do you see at the moment us going on November 7th, let's say?
Well, let me just warn that all of the so-called experts on television who were wrong in 2016 are back this year as confident as they were when they were totally wrong in 2016. Nancy Pelosi yesterday gave the Republicans the greatest gift she could have given them. Her quotes at Harvard, in which she explained you don't really need borders, that after all you ought to be friends with everyone, and that wanting to have a wall is just a macho thing. That is as clear a statement of the insanity of the open borders Democratic Party as we could possibly get. And when combined with Senator Feinstein, both of them, of course, from San Francisco, having introduced a bill in the Senate for open borders, supported, by the way, co-sponsored by every single Democrat in the Senate. I think if that's our choice.
My friends, focus on that. Dianne Feinstein's bill wants open borders. Every Democrat voted for it. Every Democrat. So if you're thinking, well, the Democrat where I live, yeah, he's a Democrat, but he's not so extreme. He's more to the middle. It just means he or she is a very good liar. Democrats act in lockstep. It would be like voting for Nancy Pelosi. My friends, obviously Newt Gingrich has been listening to Riell Truth because he's saying basically what I've been saying. We'll be back.
No chest pain. Get emergency medical help and call 911 immediately if you're experiencing any of these symptoms.
Okay, Google, turn the heat up.
Sure, warming the downstairs up.
Where's your brother?
Last more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, Google.
The breath lasts more than 5 to 10 minutes. Sudden severe nausea, indigestion, sudden sweating for no reason, sudden unexplained extreme fatigue, loss of consciousness or sleeping, or sudden unexplained panicky feeling of doom. The key, lady, is to listen to your body. Follow your instincts, and if you experience symptoms that are disturbing you in any way, or even remotely related to your health, get yourself checked out right away. If your doctor brushes you off, that's a sign you need a doctor. One who will act as suitable necessary to get to the bottom of your symptoms.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution
My friends, welcome back to Riell Truth. I am still Howard Riell. Now, if you listened to yesterday's show, and if you didn't, I don't know what the hell you were doing. If you listened to yesterday's show, I was pretty tough on Elizabeth Warren, okay? I was tough on her because she's a nitwit and a liar, and she typifies today's Democrat Party, saying and doing stupid things, lying at every opportunity, and basically talking themselves out of power. But I'm not through wiping my feet on Elizabeth Warren's face. Here's Tucker Carlson from last night. It's not about the number. It's not about the number. Of course she's lying because she's figuring that there are idiots listening to her. She was 0.09% Native American DNA. 0.09%. The average American has more Native American blood than she does. So if anything, she's whiter than white America. But she says the numbers don't count because the numbers show her to be a fraud.
Her own trail of tears. Well, as it turned out, old WATHA couldn't come up with a single, not one American Indian in her family tree. The rest of the country laughed at her, and rightly so. And then this morning, Warren hit back at the rest of us. Out of nowhere, she produced a private DNA test that she claims confirms her story. Along with it, of course, she released a video that doubles as an ad for her presidential campaign. Here it is.
No, the president
likes to call my mom a liar? What do the facts say?
Yeah, you absolutely have to get American ancestry.
I'm not enrolled in a tribe, and only tribes determine tribal citizenship. I understand and respect that distinction, but my family history is my family history.
My friends, Elizabeth Warren doesn't respect Native Americans at all, which explains why in the last 24 to 36 hours, you've seen representatives of Native American tribes coming out absolutely outraged at Elizabeth Warren and her lies and her slander and, frankly, her racism. She is a disgusting spectacle, and she is the best of the Democrats. My friends, here it is. Here is the textbook you need. She is using Native Americans and combining them with a lie to try and gain power and become president. But she's accusing Donald Trump of doing it. She's doing it, but she's accusing Donald Trump of doing it. That is the dishonesty to the bone that you find among all Democrats. Well, we live in a country where roughly half the people are Democrats, and yes, they are stupid enough to care about your DNA. They love affirmative action, which means if you're the right race, you get a job, or you get a scholarship, or you get admitted to a college. I'm talking to my friends at Harvard. But Democrats believe if you're the wrong race, for example, if you're white, then you don't get the job, and you don't get into the college you want. In the old days, we called that racism. Today, they call it liberalism. So, my friends, it boils down to this because we're about to hit a commercial. What is this election about that's coming up in November? What's it really about? It's about whether or not you are stupid and gullible. That's really what it's about. If you're stupid, you'll vote for open borders, higher taxes, MS-13, fake Democrats, the lying media. If you vote for Democrat, then you're supporting all those things. But if you're not stupid, then you wouldn't come within 10 miles of voting for any of those things. And if you weren't stupid, well, we'll leave it there. We'll be back.
nothing. He makes the plans of the people understand. The council of the Lord stands forever. The plans of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation. God is the people he has chosen as his own spirit. Psalm 33 verses 10 to 12.
We hope these truths to be self-evident. Not all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That the governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government. This is the American News Network. American Window Cleaning Incorporated breakdown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while children administrators become home. This poses an opportunity for liquidity theft. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Cleaning Incorporated right now. For residential or commercial window cleaning, call 303-263-4228. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, than the corrected United States Congress. These brave men and women of America put the bill for our freedom every day. And the military cares like to let them know that they have been in our hearts. And our prayers have been done. This message is from the associate at your 24-hour Walmart supercenter. I agree you said it. They're on the air because they care. Most people think they can't afford to invest in gold and silver. But at the Patriot Trading Group, we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to own hard assets. That's why we created our Preferred Metals program. You can get started for as little as $100 a month. Go to allamericangold.com and click on our Preferred Metals icon to learn how you can get started today. Or call us at 800-951-0592. The Patriot Trading Group, allamericangold.com.
Well, folks, I was getting a little tired of calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. So I'm indebted to Tucker Carlson for giving me that new name, WATHA. Here's Ann Coulter.
Now, on the line is Ann Coulter, the best-selling author of many.
By the way, my friends, let me jump in here. Several years ago, I had a friend who was Jewish, but his family came from Morocco. In fact, he was born in Morocco, which is in Africa. So when he went on a job interview, he wrote down quite correctly and accurately that he's an African American. Well, that didn't really fly, even though it was true. He didn't get the job because he wasn't the right color. That is liberalism.
Wrong.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. I'll tell you what. I'll come back to Ann Coulter. We'll finish up this video. More Real Truth ahead. Remember, the election, jobs or mobs.
John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, "This word only give them I said, he who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me." Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. We know our kids will be exposed to drugs. We want to applaud the efforts to refuse that retreat to the overdrug. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the activity of the WATHA plan located 366 serving our area since 1943, specializing in natural AD and sport and free custom process. All 303 to 3822 and 303 to 3822. The United States, in order to form a more perfect union, adaptive justice, and critical ethnic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty, ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The American Freedom Network is not funded or supported by special interest or government programs. The American Freedom Network is not sponsored by advertisers demanding content or programming control. The American Freedom Network is solely funded by the use of ability. If you can keep the American Freedom Network on the air by purchasing one of our sponsors' fine products or by calling 1-800-05-6245 to make it a donation. The American Freedom Network needs your help.
My friends, I'm as good as my word. Here is Ann Coulter once again, but this is from an interview earlier today on the Mark Simone Show. Go ahead, Mark. That's what the Democrats are all about today. Hatred. We'll be back.
To ask him, who are you?
Big tech companies are
He did not deny it and said, I am not the Messiah. And they asked him, what then? Are you Elijah? He said, I am not. Are you the prophet?
Flowers have an immediate impact on happiness. It's a scientific fact that bright, beautiful
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, paper, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no foreign shall be seized but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the person or thing to be seized.
Chaplain Collinsville speaks our emergency first responders and the professionals in free. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us to fool their little things. So let's all take the time to thank our first responders for all they do for us. We're also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins, LLC, with 2 locations in Denver and Fort Collins. Serving the community for over 13 years. This is an online at ChapelCollins.com. Total concrete services on fine systems. The men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Salute those who serve today. This reminder from Total Concrete Services, 2462 Hilltop Road in Collins, not to serve the entire area and to work on behalf of our future. For more information, call 970-535-4780.
The topic today seems to be the collapse of the Democrats. So let's spend the last 4 minutes of the show listening to Tucker Carlson inveighing against those self-same collapsing Democrats. Oh, that Chris Cuomo is a real genius. He thinks that maybe, possibly, perhaps, Elizabeth Warren didn't accomplish what she wanted. Well, Chris Cuomo is the brother of Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, two stupid men born to privilege who have abused their privilege and polluted America with garbage. Just like Elizabeth Warren, just like the Democrats in general, and I am going to keep hammering away at this theme until Election Day. Because Colorado, other people too, but mainly Colorado, has a lot of shame to burn off for voting for Hillary in 2016. I don't want the same atrocity to happen in 2018. I will be back tomorrow, my friends. Check my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio. Hasta luego.